Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I am going to be talking about the Battlefield 6 open beta that just happened over the weekend. There was a lot of good in the game and I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun playing it. There were a few things that I kind of noticed that were kind of meh, but I'll get to that in a minute. A lot of it felt really good. Kind of like a back to maybe like Battlefield 3 kind of feel with the map design and some of the guns and stuff, but with a little bit of like what they did in Battlefield 2042. I think the dragging mechanic was really cool, even though they were talking about adding that into Battlefield 5. But I'm glad that either way we actually have it now. It works really well to pull somebody into cover or just be able to revive more people in safer positions than they are. The gun choice in the beta was pretty good, I felt. I was hoping for at least another sniper, but one sniper was fine. I really enjoyed the sniping aspect. It was fun. I felt like it felt pretty decent. Felt very similar to Battlefield 2042 sniping. A little less exaggerated on the drop, like Battlefield 4, for instance. You know, at like 200 meters, you had to aim a little high. And it's just not really how sniping works with the velocity and everything, but they also added sweet spot sniping back, which is fine, I guess. I do believe that because the level 2, I believe, is fatal headshots from snipers that you can't be revived from. So that makes some sense to me as to why they would do that. But overall, I felt like sniping was done really, really well. And I really, really enjoyed playing as a sniper while I was playing the game. And I think that it really can only improve from here. I mean, this beta felt way better than 2042's did. And that's, I guess, really not saying much because 2042's beta was so bad, but it gives me a lot of hope for where we're headed with this next Battlefield game. The LMGs were a lot of fun to use as well. So were the carbines, so were the SMGs and the assault rifles, and even the DMRs. I ended up finishing out the DMRs out in the beta. I maxed out every gun except for the shotgun. I really don't like shotguns, so I just didn't use it. And I did what I could and finished all of the challenges that seemed relevant to me. I think the only one I didn't finish was the repairing 300 vehicle damage, but I don't really care about the little thing that you get for that. I don't really care about any of the rewards either. A lot of it just came naturally with just playing the game, you know, finishing the challenges and everything. I would say that there was a lot of good in the game and a lot of good in the beta. The map design was really done well. I think the mountain map I liked for sniping, but then, you know, you had the Siege of Cairo or whatever it's called, and that felt really good for close quarters, and then even longer range engagements worked really well. I felt like it flowed really well. It was one of the maps that we played in the alpha, but it really felt good in the open beta, so I'm looking forward to that. Empire State map felt good. Breakthrough's a little rough on it because you either take all of the objectives really fast or you end up fighting over the first or second objective, which is fine. But for a map that's only 3 objectives for breakthrough, it's a little weird to have it not last that long, I guess. Like, it just felt like every time I played it, you're either getting steamrolled or you're steamrolling. There really isn't much fighting over most of the objectives. I think the longest we fought over A and B on that map I was playing was like just that second objective. You know, we would get down to either like close to being done or it's like we lost 5 tickets, you know, like it was really kind of weird. So I'm sure there will be some balancing changes coming for that, and I look forward to that because like that can only be improved upon because the map design itself was really good. It was really fun. As always, there was exploits that people were doing, getting on top of the map, doing things like that they really weren't supposed to be doing. I didn't partake in any of that. I think that's stupid. I don't need that sort of advantage over people. You know, I like to just have fair, fun fights. I don't know why everybody needs to have some weird competitive edge by getting out of the map, but whatever. You know, people are going to do what they're going to do. I can't really stop that. I just hope that, you know, EA and DICE actually fix some of those issues that were present, and I'm sure that they will, which I feel like is saying a lot considering that they've really kind of screwed the community over a lot over the last few years. But, you know, we can always hope that they're going to actually do anything, right? I even did mess around with the vehicles a little bit, and I had fun doing that, the tanks and stuff. I don't have any clips of doing that because I did that on stream, and so I do have a video that I will have from the different games that I had during the beta that I thought were really good and worked well to upload to my YouTube channel. So one of those is me in a tank as a gunner, and I believe the other one I was the actual tanker for a little while, and that was kind of fun. I'm not really a vehicle player, but considering it being a beta, I did want to try everything that I could because, like, to me, I'm not concerned with the meta and all these other things. I'm just trying to get a feel for the game, right? Like, I've already pre-ordered it because I had the money available now. I wasn't sure if I would in October, so I figured I may as well just do that now so I can play day one, and I'm pretty excited about it, honestly. The only guns that I felt were a little lackluster were the DMRs, and I'm not really a DMR player anyway, but they just felt like they were pretty unreliable as weapons, and I guess maybe if you use them like further range, it's probably fine. I did have one game that I played really well with the DMR, the SVK, but other than that, like, it doesn't really fit my play style, so I felt that they were a little weird. But I think if you are the type of person that does just kind of like to hang back, two-tap people with the SVK, or sometimes 3 or 4 tap people with the EBR, it works pretty well for that type of play style, I believe. And I do believe that people will enjoy the EBR as maybe like a little bit more of a close quarters, mid-range kind of gun, because you can spam that pretty well. Not as well as you could like a SKS in Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3, but like decent enough that, it's not like you're gonna lose every fight you get into if you're a little closer than mid-range with the EBR. Whereas the SVK I really felt was more of a mid to long-range gun to use, but it worked okay in the end, and I feel like the DMRs will probably remain that way because I feel like they were working as intended. It just didn't fit my playstyle. So I'm kind of, maybe the odd one out with that. It's very obvious to me that the SMGs are kind of, I don't want to say overpowered, but they're kind of like the go-to weapon for the open weapon playlist, like a lot of people really use them, small caliber, shoots fast, high DPS, etc, etc. So I felt like maybe the SMGs need to be buffed down a little bit, because there were times that I was getting out-fragged with like an AR at pretty significant ranges with an SMG, and that was weird. I'm not sure if I have any actual clips of that happening because I don't really clip deaths, but it is weird, and I'm sure other people have had that happen to them as well. So I hope that they might put down the SMGs a little bit, but we'll see. The ARs felt fine. They felt like every other AR and every other Battlefield, except they did shoot a little straighter and a little less bullet deviation than in past iterations of Battlefield, which kind of brings me to the negative part of everything. I can tell that they're really trying to capture the COD audience with this Call of Duty, and that's fine. I don't think that's a bad thing, but like when I'm playing the open beta and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're playing hardpoint and domination and TDM and stuff like that, like, that's cool. I know that there are people that will really enjoy that, but I feel like separating the player base so much is maybe not the right idea. But I also think, like, from a corporate side of things, I do understand, like, they want to reach as much of an audience as they can, and I don't think that's necessarily a negative thing. But, like, adding in, like, ranked and competitive game modes and stuff like that, like, it's just not the core Battlefield experience, so that's a little weird. I don't really care much about the BR, to be honest. I see a lot of people talking about it like, oh, it needs a BR to be successful, and like all the content creators are like, oh, like it's only gonna be good if it has a BR. Like, they're adding it in. I'll never play it. I don't care. I don't care about BRs. I just hope that the BR doesn't take over for what the development of the base game is, like they did with Call of Duty, because I don't care about BRs. I have no interest in playing BRs, really. I do every once in a while with friends. I'll hop on Apex with a couple of people, or me and my friend Chase used to play PUBG, but I just don't really care about BRs, so I'm not really looking forward to that part, but whatever. I mean, it's going to be there whether I want it to be or not, so, I hope that whoever does play it enjoys it. But it is a little weird to see that it's almost like, it's very obvious that they're trying to capture COD players as well, which is, again, fine, but, like, like the bullet, like I said, the bullet deviation isn't like it was in past iterations, but neither was 2042's. And you can tell that they're less about, like most of the guns don't even really have recoil. They don't even really, like, you know, like, controlling the weapons in this game is so easy. Sniping is so easy. And that's fine. It's fun. But, you know, it does kind of take away from that core Battlefield feeling for me, especially somebody as I've played since Battlefield 1942. I've been playing since the beginning of the major games. And I find it a little strange to see that happening, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, like I said. I think that they can really do something with that. I'm just hoping that the core of the game stays the same and it doesn't turn into like some weird Call of Duty knockoff, because we just don't need that, you know what I mean? Like, if I wanted to play Call of Duty, I'll just play Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like, I want to play Battlefield because I enjoy Battlefield. I don't want to play a game that I'm just feeling like I'm running around like it's COD and everybody's running around with crazy movement and this, that, and the other thing. I mean, it's kind of what happened to BattleBit, right? So that's just my opinion, though. That's really one of the only negative things that I felt about the game, but it was a pretty major one for me. The other things were just little things like balancing issues, and, you know, everybody's complaining about the scope glint, but I don't think it's that bad. The only thing with the scope glint that feels a little bit weird right now is that it's not always where the person is, and that it's hard to kind of line up a shot sometimes because it's very bright. So I think if they kind of maybe tune down the illumination bloom on it, it might be okay. But the scope glint itself is fine. The movement felt fine. I didn't feel like people were like jumping around a ton, or like, you know, like in COD where like you run around a corner and somebody's b-hopping like 50 times trying to shoot you. Like, none of that was really happening for me. But I only played Breakthrough, so I don't really know. I played a couple games of Rush. I played a couple games of the hard point, and I don't think I touched domination at all. I played a couple conquest games, like, so it didn't really happen to me, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But other than that, like, really it just felt good, and I'm really looking forward to the game coming out in October. So, you know, I got a bunch of other videos and stuff, like from Battlefield Hardline 2042 and stuff, Battlefield 1, that are going to be being uploaded, but I'm making this right now on Sunday night because the beta's over in about 5 minutes from when I'm making this, and I'd really like to have that be like the next video that I upload today, because I just think it's important since it just happened and it's all fresh in my mind. I didn't want to take too long to like, oh, I'm gonna make this in a week, and then when it's like not like fresh in my mind and relevant in my mind anymore because I'll be playing other games again, you know. But it overall was a really fun experience, and I'm really looking forward to it. And so I would love to hear what you guys think, if there's anything that you felt was like a really negative thing, or more of you know, what your favorite part of the beta was and what you're looking forward to, or if, you know, are you new to Battlefield? Is this going to be your first Battlefield game? I really like to hear stuff like that. And so anyway, I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really helps my channel, obviously. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Battlefield Open Beta and what you think the future of Battlefield will be. And I hope you guys are all having a great day, and I will talk to you later.